Welcome to another episode of Off the Record with the Tacoma Ledger. Would our guests like to introduce themselves?
Yeah, hi, I'm Reid Fetters with Tacoma Rising. Super excited to be here. Appreciate the invite, and yeah.
We got a great one for you today. The best one that we've done.
Take it away, Huzaifa.
Yeah, so I'm Huzaifa, so I'm the reporter at the Ledger. So nice to have you on the podcast. So before we go in dive, right, since you are the founder of Tacoma Rising, I just wanted to go in deep dive, what was the purpose of having this kind of idea, and like, what's your plan on this kind of thing?
When you say this, do you mean Tacoma Rising in general?
Tacoma Rising, yeah.
Oh, good question. So Tacoma Rising started 5 years ago. It was basically, the idea was to connect like-minded people in Tacoma. Mm-hmm. When I got into town, which was almost 6 years ago, I found that there were two types of people. There were people that felt like Tacoma had not accomplished much in 30 years, and it probably never will. And then there's the other group that I call the Tacoma Believers. Mm-hmm. And I believe in Tacoma. I believed in Tacoma since the first day I drove through downtown. Actually, right by UW-T was my entrance into town. And so I started it because of that. And I would say the first 6 months to a year, it was mostly posting articles, positive things happening in Tacoma. And then I started having meetings, and those meetings lasted probably 9 months to a year. And in January of 2023, I started doing tours. And fast forward to, this is our fourth year, almost halfway through, so 4.5 years of tours. So the idea of Tacoma Rising, I guess, started probably closer to 5.5 years ago, but we launched, I think, in June of 2021.
Great to hear that. Yeah, and like the Tacoma Rising Challenge that you had last week on Friday. So it was really fun. I enjoyed it a lot. And it was a really good event. I just wanted to, ask, like, how did you come up with this idea? How did you collaborate with UW Tacoma? How did you get all the logistics together in that kind of?
Ransom. Blackmail and ransom is how I got them. So the idea sparked from wanting to always, my background's architecture, and I always wanted to go back and teach us a year-long studio, basically, that says, okay, starting the first semester, here's your design. At the end of the semester, they present their design, whatever the design is. And then after everyone's done, I say, congratulations. Unfortunately, the budget dropped by 30%. And you need to work with these general contractors to figure out how to keep your concept there, but drop your budgets 30% and still make it work for the second semester. That was, like, I'd always wanted to do that. And so with that mindset, I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to go back and teach a studio, unfortunately. But what I could do is do a workshop. And so I had thought about, what does that workshop look like? And this was kind of the height of developing Tacoma Rising. And we have 3 pillars of Tacoma Rising. I'm going to go a long way around this to get back to it. But we promote, connect, support. And to really build a city, to activate a city, I think there's 3 things that you have to do. The first thing is you have to build founders. Mm-hmm. You have to promote businesses and help businesses grow, create businesses. That's number 1. Number 2 is retain talent. And number 3 is create place. Exactly. So through our promotion and our events and all the things we do, that kind of helps create founders. The retain talent piece is difficult. Mm-hmm. So how do you do that? So the idea was, well, if we want to keep students here after they graduate, we need to find them jobs or opportunities for jobs. How do you do that? Well, the best way to do that is to partner them up with their workforce that's here, and connect professionals to students. You could always do a happy hour, well, maybe not a happy hour, of some kind of event, but there's nothing better than getting students and professionals working together on a problem. Mm-hmm. And there's no way for students to learn more than a real world problem. So it basically was this combination of all these things we wanted to try to accomplish. That's what we started. That's where the challenge came from. And so I knew it was going to be tough to get professionals for more than a day. So we thought, well, if we create a program that basically we have students and mentors working together over using a few different specific programs, we could work on something that's local here. And so I reached out to some colleagues that have UW-T, and I would say it took a year to get the whole thing approved.
Wow.
And it was a long process, and it was meeting a lot of different people, which is, understandably so. But basically, when we finally sat down and started talking about it, and again, it took a year to get approved, but the first 6 months was talking to people, and halfway through, they came back and said, hey, we have a master plan, a 43-acre master plan that we're going to be wrapping up. At that time, it was last April. And we have a building in the center of that master plan called the Swiss, and we're not sure what to do with it. And I was like, that sounds great. I'm an architect. I do adaptive reviews. Hey, let's take a shot at it. So when they explained what the Swiss was, I was like, yeah, that's perfect. So we went and toured it, and we put a program around that, and that's what became the first challenge. And so it was an adaptive reuse project of a building that is going to be in the heart of the campus, and we had to figure out how does that building tie into the rest of the master plan. So that's how it all started, and the first year we had 22 students actually show up and about 15 mentors, and we did it a little differently. We broke the teams up per program, and so we had business, marketing, finance, civil engineering, and urban planning. And so if you imagine 5 different tables of students and mentors in different programs, they were all working together to solve one problem. And I was nervous the whole day because I spent a lot of time writing that curriculum and working, trying to figure out the Swiss, what do we do and where do we send them. But I'll say that it was, what the students came up with was incredible. They all had a chance to win. It was really, really good. So fast forward this year, we obviously took a new challenge, a new approach here. Instead of a building, we went to more of creating engagement on Pac Ave, which is a much bigger scope. But to grow the size, we went after multiple schools, and UW-T already partnering with us the year before. It was easy. They were in, and so they were very supportive, and they've been an awesome partner. So this year we had 7 schools that came in, and I think we had 50 students actually sign up, and about 40 mentors. So you can see.
1-to-1 ratio kind of.
Oh, it was very, very close. And so we basically tripled the size. Now, the cool thing last year, 2 of the students got jobs from the mentors.
Nice, that's good.
It's huge, and that's really where it comes down to, is that when we go back to the root, why did we do this? Retain talent. And if
opportunities as well.
Yes, and if you retain talent by getting students jobs or getting them connected to people in their industry, whether it's a mentor, a contact, or something, it's just connecting students and business professionals, and that was what it was all about. Now, that's a very long-winded explanation, but as we get deeper...
that's really good. How did the students really, for example, like the first challenge that you did, what was the after effects of that? Were the students able to, what happened to that project at the end of the day, whatever they were building? Was it like a one day workshop and that's it, or was it like, the UW-Tacoma considered it in the plan kind of a thing?
So with the Swiss, we'll jump back to the Swiss because I'm not sure how last Friday's challenge will go, what that will lead to. That'll take some time. But the Swiss, what they came up with was more of a business focus, and I think where they're headed, which I don't know the design. And right now it's the Swiss is potentially, it could get redeveloped in the next phase. I think that's kind of out there right now. I don't know. But it wasn't that all of the ideas that the students came up with were used. The important piece was there's a couple things. One, they definitely took some ideas I don't know, again, exactly what the end use of the Swiss is. I'm hopefully going to be hearing soon.
Yeah.
So I don't know all of them, but I definitely know some of the ideas were used because that's what was told to me.
Yeah.
And it could have been as simple as I'm not going to, I don't know exactly what they are, so I'm just not going to make assumptions.
Yeah.
But I know some of the directions that they went were used into the new design.
Okay.
We'll find out what those were, but that's just what was told to me by UWT. However, what the most important piece was that we brought attention to it.
Yeah, makes sense.
And so getting the community and getting folks around the idea of doing something with the Swiss, I think helped them sell the project more so than if we hadn't done it. So we aren't the reason it happened or took them right. We're not the but I think we helped kind of push it through to get to the next phase of approval, which we talked about that on Friday, which was really cool to hear.
Shout out to the Tacoma Rising as well as UW Tacoma for building this community and starting an initiative at the beginning. So you're an entrepreneur yourself, how do you see Tacoma as a place, right? And what are the opportunities that Tacoma offers around that can be explored by the community here, and how do you retain the talent here in Tacoma?
Well, I think, okay, so if we're talking about retaining talent that's growing here, there's 7 universities that are around Tacoma, which is, I don't want to say unheard of, but that's not normal.
Yeah.
To have that many schools around a city of about 230,000 people. So I believe that as this event grows, whether people show up to the events, it's the businesses getting connected to the schools in different ways too, job fairs and things like that. So once you make those connections, and they snowball. I have no idea how far the connections that happened last Friday will go, but they will travel. And every year as we grow this and we get more schools involved, more students involved, it will start to snowball. And I think that will offer more opportunities for the students that are graduating or going to be graduating to find jobs locally. Now, we will lose students to Seattle and Olympia and some of the, so if we can keep them regionally here, I think that's a huge win. We're going to lose students to the East Coast and other areas, and that's normal. But the more we can retain here, I think is really good. Now, another area of that, which I don't know if you were headed that way because I'm an entrepreneur, we look at what's in Tacoma that can help entrepreneurs.
Yeah, exactly. That was my next.
Okay, so in that direction, we created a concept called Founder Square.
Okay.
And so we just launched it. So I'm I'll do that in a minute. But selling Founder Square, the idea around Founder Square is that we have a co-working brand, a flexible real estate brand called Urban Work. And so that's right at the Road Center and 1102 Broadway. So those buildings are right across the street from each other, and so we're building place there. We're building co-working, flexible suites, place where things happen. Then with Tacoma Rising, which is under the Rising Cities, that initiative is how we create programming and activity. So when you build place, which is Urban Work, and build programming, and you put them together, you build an ecosystem. And that ecosystem is what we call Founder Square. So we believe at the intersection of 11th and Broadway, where our headquarters and where we operate, we have a lot of Tacoma Rising events there. That's where we're building a hub, an entrepreneurial hub for the South Sound.
Nice.
So when you have students that are graduating from UW, Seattle, or some of the other areas, Tacoma offers so much opportunity. And I say opportunity because Tacoma is known for potential, but there's opportunity here. You have affordable living, much more than some of the other areas. The infrastructure is here. We have a downtown. We have a lot of businesses. And the interesting thing is that Tacoma, and if you blend Tacoma and Federal Way, we have a really large workforce down here in Pierce County and on the edge of King County. And when you have that and you have place, you have people that basically live here, maybe work in Seattle. But after COVID, we have these opportunities to create the hub and spoke model.
Yeah.
So the hub being Seattle,
Yeah.
and the spoke
being Tacoma.
Tacoma. That's right. So Tacoma's kind of it's prime for entrepreneurs, founders, small businesses, and satellite offices. By all means, keep your headquarters in Seattle.
Yeah.
But don't deny Tacoma.
Exactly.
Like you're coming to Tacoma.
Yeah.
If you wanna get into our workforce and what we have down here, you're bringing your office to Tacoma.
So you have like seen a lot of students as well. You know how they are groomed up and stuff like that. You know, you are a founder yourself. You know, what do you think? Like, that thing is missing. You know, the student should be more like engaged in this kind of thing so that they have like a good brand to show to the companies, or if they want to go down the line into founding something, what are the characteristics that they should follow, kind of thing.
It's a good question. I think real world experience in going and working for a business, like whatever you go to school for, I think it's great that you go work for a business for 10 years. I think understand business.
Yeah.
If you don't go to business school, go learn the business through a company and understand that. I think that's a really good way to start. If you want to be an entrepreneur or you want to do something on your own, I think that's a great way. If you feel that you're comfortable and you're ready to step out on your own and be an entrepreneur or a founder, and you've got a creative idea, you have to fight like hell. And the idea that I work 80 hours a week so I don't have to work 40, that's real. And you are going to fail. 100%. Anyone that thinks that failing won't happen or is a bad thing is wrong. If you're an entrepreneur, you have to learn how to fail and be okay and get back up. And if you are a habit of giving up and things are too hard, you're probably not an entrepreneur. But if you are okay with running into, you're going to run into problems. But being able to solve problems will help you a lot. But understanding how to handle like failure is huge. Failure should be your best friend. And that's how you learn. And that's my advice to anyone. The other thing is your network is your net worth. I can't tell you how much it is lonely being an entrepreneur. So you build your network and you have colleagues to bounce ideas off. It's important to go to those events. Whether you're not necessarily going to events to find work. You're going there to build connections. And those are all things that are very valuable. And I could go down through a long list of things, but most critically, you're going to fail and you've got to be ready for that. Some of the biggest wins that you'll ever feel are when you're an entrepreneur and you've done something and accomplished something on your own or mostly on your own. And some of the biggest hits, hardest hits, is when you fail on your own. And it goes like this. It's a bumpy ride. The goal is to win more than you lose, but but that's what I would say.
So we are talking about failures, right? What are what would be the failure in your journey, right? That, taught you a lot about things and it even helped you out in your new, startup and stuff.
Failure to me at this point, I think when I moved into Tacoma, I moved to Tacoma with experience. I'd been doing stuff throughout the country. And when you come to a city that's about the size of Tacoma, and people don't know who you are, it was hard to get in front of people and talk to people. And I thought it was a little strange at first, but Tacoma's a different area it's just different. And if I would have given up when I thought maybe I should, that would have been failing. That would have been a big failure.
Yeah, makes sense.
And to that point, I didn't, and I just kept going because I believed that I was right and that we were going to push forward and we were going to build something and we were going to change real estate. And that was my goal, is that I want to change real estate and how people work and what that looks like in the future. And how do you, over time, and I think maybe age comes with this, and when you have kids, and there's this for me, I feel like I want to mentor more and more.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of our problems today, students not being able to find jobs.
Yeah.
Like that is a real problem, and it's been getting worse. And I feel like education and the workforce have been separating for a long time. And so when we thought about how do we build a community, what do you need to do? And I think what we really need to do is to do these events where it's around mentorship and reconnect students at different times back to business so they have a better opportunity to move forward. And you create this life cycle of this business life cycle, this workforce. And the reason why I'm digging into that is that I think that is critical into understanding like how we wanted to make things change. And I think there's things happening now that, it's, if a student can't get a job and you tell them their whole life, all you have to do is go to get good grades and go to school, and then you graduate high school, and all you have to do is go to college, and then you graduate college, and you're like, now what do I do? And they don't know because they've not made connections. They've gone down a path. And I think that we don't spend enough time challenging students and whatnot. So all of that, where I talk about how real estate and work changes, that's part of this. So there's a bigger picture around that.
Yeah, that's totally true. Yeah, connection helps a lot.
We'll jump back into it.
Yeah, so we were talking about connections, and connections are the net worth. Students try to make connections, but they don't have a starting point. What do you think is a good way to make a connection? And once you have a connection, how to keep that connection alive, kind of thing.
Come to Tacoma Rising events. Come make your connection. We will connect you to the folks that come. We do monthly events. It's really easy. Just come to the events. We do Founders Square. We have an event it's the second Thursday of every month at our office, where we have founders and builders of Tacoma coming in, and I'll be interviewing them. And who is it on? It's Christy Wolford from the Maritime 253 Skills Center. She's the director, and so this Thursday, she's going to be in there. I'm going to interview her. The tickets are free. Just come. There's going to be entrepreneurs and founders there. There's no better way to do that, and they're once a month. And Josh Dunn is coming June 14th. He is the CEO of Premier Media Group, which is South Sound Business, South Sound Magazine. They've got 4 publications. And then in July, we will have Nigel Sharp, who was the CEO of Aquaga, which is a local startup that they found a way to break down PFAS, forever chemicals, which is incredibly that's awesome. That's out of Tacoma. So he's not the CEO anymore, but he was the founding CEO. He'll be coming in, and he's a phenomenal entrepreneur. So those in Tacoma Rising events, if you're a student, you should be coming to those.
Students, mark your calendar, and if it's something that interests you, it's free. You can go and have good connections. So moving forward from there, right? So I just wanted to know how do you think now, because AI is all over the place, right? How do you see businesses have involved with AI, and how is it affecting the market in good ways or in bad ways?
AI is leveling the playing field. If you are an entrepreneur, you have access to so many tools now. If you don't know how to build a website, use Lovable.
Exactly.
If you're not good at doing presentations, PowerPoints, pitch decks, get a hold of Claude. If you need some inspiration, some ideas, some graphics, maybe a logo, ChatGPT. There's AI that will level the playing field, and so there's no real excuse to have access to something right now that will put you in a position to be able to build a business. I use AI a lot. It has have you heard, there's a, I don't know if it's what they call it, is it a disease or whatever it is, ADHD, have you heard of that?
Yeah.
Are you familiar?
I mean, I'm not familiar, but I know that's
just
a
kidding.
disease, yeah.
No, and I don't know what it is, what it's categorized as, but there's a good chance that I might have ADHD. Maybe not. I don't know. But my point being is that I dump a lot of things into AI, and what I found that I spent a lot of time organizing my thoughts for others, not so much myself. And so I utilize AI to a level that has exponentially allowed me to do way more.
Nice.
I'm sure there's a lot of issues that potentially could come out of AI that may be scary to people. But as a tool, if you understand it and use it, it can level the playing field for you.
Yeah, with that said, right, so how does, what are the challenges or like the pivots that you did in between like Tacoma Rising, where did you, thought like, I'm going in this direction, and then you thought like, maybe I need to pivot this idea kind of thing. Did you go through that phase, or is it like, just planned out till now?
Tacoma Rising in general?
Yeah.
Oh man, Becca's here. I had printed the agenda for the very first meeting I had for Tacoma Rising 5 years ago. And if you look on there, the words promote, connect, support are on there. And the infrastructure there, what we kind of use today. But if you ask me then, what does Tacoma look like in 5 years? It would definitely not be what today is. I had an idea, I had a business plan, but spoiler alert, your business plan is never really what the business turns out to. I mean, if it is, then I'd be shocked if I don't think I've ever seen one that does that. But I will say that I was not sure what would happen with Tacoma Rising. We basically, over the last 5 years, we've built something that we believe is scalable. So we've rebranded to the Rising Cities, and eventually we will start moving into other cities. And the goal behind that is that if we connect regions through cities, if we can connect, say, Portland and Seattle through Tacoma, that puts Tacoma on the map, that it is a stopping point or a starting point for business. And what does that mean? Well, we are startups. We have Urban Work. We have Tacoma Rising or the Rising Cities. I have an architecture firm, and then I have a real estate consulting business. Between Urban Work and Tacoma Rising, those are scalable. Those are startups. And as we grow here, and we have folks in our co-working, or maybe that are part of Tacoma Rising, the networking group, as we get into other cities, we are now creating a portal and a conduit to that portal that allows people to grow whatever they have in Tacoma into other cities on a much easier path. The path is easier. But that also allows us to, when we get into Portland and we meet folks in Portland and they're asking about what's going on in Tacoma, and we're like, well, you got to come and find out. That gives Portland businesses opportunities to come to Tacoma and vice versa. So it's basically trying to open a portal between businesses at an approachable scale. Some of these corporate businesses are already in these cities, but smaller founders, entrepreneurs, small businesses, much harder to get into those areas. And if we can create an easier path, by all means, that's what we want to do. And with Founder Square, as we grow, the goal would be we have a Founder Square in each of those cities that we're building founders, entrepreneurs, and small businesses. So
you have been in like the Tacoma startup scene for quite a long time, right? So is there any like good startups that have scaled in in Tacoma, and like that you think like would go way far ahead, and like good ideas from Tacoma?
There's a couple in the co-working right now that I think have a really good shot of making some that could get some traction. Now, their path and how big they scale is completely up to them, but Navigate is one. Nathan came in as got a single office. Now he has an 8-person office.
Nice.
He has a team of 3 or 4, I think. But he's grown over the last year, and I see him scaling. I don't know to what level. Aquaga, I mean, that's the best one. They are 8. They're doing $7 or $8 million a year or something. I don't know the numbers, but I know it's a lot because I just had the conversation yesterday about it. But they started in Tacoma with really nothing, and they didn't raise a lot of money. I think they were a lot self-funded. Fact check this because this is from my conversation yesterday in memory. But they scaled over the last several years, and to being the sky's the limit for those guys. Are there other ones? Yes, but Tacoma isn't. I don't think Tacoma's been there's a difference between startups and small businesses, and scalability is a big part of that. Like how do they scale? Because startups are meant to, the idea is that they're going to go. Yeah. They're going to go. And I don't know how many startups have actually come out of Tacoma and that are here versus small businesses. I don't know that Tacoma's ever been known for a lot of startups, but definitely small businesses. However, again, through a conversation yesterday, there's a lot of things coming into Tacoma now that are basically coming here, skipping other cities to come to Tacoma because we have this startup mentality growing. And there's things churning right now that wasn't necessarily the case 5 years ago. So as we see that, it's going to be exciting to watch how that grows. But Tacoma is becoming a spot on the map for startups for sure.
So I'm just now concluding the podcast. So what's your take on the upcoming Tacoma Rising Challenge for the next year? Is there anything that you have planned or no?
Yes, it's funny because I just wrote basically the schedule for next year, what it looks like. We are changing. We're going to be doing a lot of things. It's going to be entirely different next year. And I'm still working on it, but it looks to be a 48-hour charrette, where we're going to have schools come in for 3 days. And we have a building in mind that we're going to be working on. That's kind of an icon in the area. We'll see if we get a hold of that one. But we have another building that I think would be a really good challenge too. But we're going to be going after more programs, and we're going to be looking at this challenge to be more of a destination for schools to come. So I'm reaching out to my alma mater, Ball State University in Indiana. I asked if they wanted to send some of their architecture students, urban planning students from Indiana to come out. And so we thought the first year was great because it was just UW-T. This year was fantastic because we had 7 universities included. I don't think the timeline was long enough. We need more time, but we know that there's people getting a lot out of it. And since we're not a university with Tacoma Rising, it's harder to carry that credibility when you put a program on when you're not a UW or Oregon or Wazoo or whatever. Though it's a lot easier for schools to put on those types of things. So we wanted to prove that it works, and next year we want this to be much bigger, and we want Tacoma to be the destination for a lot of things. And you didn't ask this, but I'm going to offer it up anyway. The reason why we do an event every month, there's 12 every month, is that every one of those are meant to be scaled the following year and redo and do those events again. And that means at least once a month, all eyes on Tacoma. And we bring people together from different areas because they're all different events. And then there's a few events that are meant to pull everyone together, a big connection. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in, but that's the goal. So every time we do something, the following year it's going to be bigger and better and bring more folks in.
Nice. Best of luck for your upcoming events, and students, you can join their events, network, and expand your exposure. And best of luck for your upcoming events and all that. And do you have any last comments that you want to bring to the student on campus?
I can't wait to see you guys show up to the next Tacoma Rising or the next Founder Square stories at Founder Square is what we're calling it. Looking forward to meet more folks, more students, and let's get you connected. Let's find opportunities for you guys in the future.
Exactly. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good one. Bye bye.